So how to get to pure survival mode in Dead Space 3 Awakened. Start a new campaign after you've completed the game on any difficulty, and then load the file. That's what I'm doing right here. You only have to play for a couple of minutes just to get your save file going, and then go down to New Game Plus and go to pure survival mode. This is not any kind of glitch or trick or anything. This is just how it works. It's kind of tricky. And then load your slot here. Or excuse me, we're not loading here. We're saving here. We're going to save that slot for our data. Then press single player campaign. And then press play downloadable content. And then we'll start playing. And this is chapter 1. It's Awakened. And this is the Requiem chapter. Sorry to have so bluntly introduced this video guide, but this is Big Benedict, and we're going to be playing the Awakened DLC for Dead Space 3, and this is pure survival mode. So I did a lengthy write-up in the description, but basically it's one notch below impossible on the hard difficulty setting. However, on this difficulty setting, none of the enemies and none of the boxes that you pick up anywhere, none of those things give you health packs or ammo. So you actually have to, all you're ever going to get is like tungsten and transceivers and all the resource parts. Like right here, watch what I get. I'm just going to get, after this scene right here, all you get is the things to make the things that you don't get. So I'm not sure what I picked up right there. Yeah, you're just going to get scrap metal. They're not called transceivers, are they? They're called something else that I can't recall exactly what they are at this second. Anyway, so I spent a hefty amount of time at the bench outfitting my load up, what I wanted here. Basically, I have the same thing I had on my guide for Impossible Mode. I have the kinetic projector and the seeker rifle, and I also have the plasma cutter with the rotator cuff. So I have 3 weapons, and I also have this engineering suit, which is unlocked. Look at that guy. Went so high up there like a bird. Anyway, you know the drill with these pregnants. Don't hit them in the belly. Watch out for these pukers. Throw the puke right back at them. Didn't kill that guy because these guys are the harder versions, the elite guys. So I do have this suit, but I'm not going to be upgrading any of the armor or the stasis or the kinesis, just because I want to kind of make up for some of the difficulty that I lose by playing this mode, which is hard mode. So yeah, so that's that. And this was the first confrontation. This is a very enjoyable DLC pack that I would recommend to people who have beaten the game. You do get a trophy for beating it on this particular mode of play, Pure Survival Mode, or Pure Survivalist Mode, however they're calling it. And I'm not really going to go over what I said in the description too much because I spent quite a lot of time writing it, but it conveys my feelings on how I perceive this difficulty to be compared to Impossible Mode. And I'm also, since I introduced this whole video with showing you how to actually play this game on Pure Survivalist, any questions that I receive pertaining to how do you play on Pure Survivalist, they're just not going to be answered. Because not only did I write it in the description, but I devoted the first 45 seconds to showing you exactly how to do it. But if there's any little, any questions that I don't cover, in any aspects of the process that I don't cover, I will be glad to answer those questions. But anyway, I don't particularly like this sequence here. I mean, we're going to get some items here, and then it's going to cut to this scene over here. And we're going to be fighting these children here, and we actually do fight the children from Dead Space 2, so it's really cool in a subsequent fight. So I don't know who this guy is. It looks like Satan to me, but definitely equip your plasma cutter and then we're going to be cutting down the children who run at us. So, what else is different here? Were those health packs? No, those aren't health packs. Any green items you've seen falling out of enemies, those should be somatic gel. So it's not that much of a difficulty spike. I mean, the enemies go down and you go down at hard level damage, meaning that you don't have to hit the enemies so much as we did have to do in Impossible, and also you're not going to receive as much hit point damage as we received in Impossible. But this is the reason I just don't like how we have to, even though it's just going on this platform here, it just kind of felt weird. It didn't agree with me too much. But yeah, no upgrades to the armor, no anything. I do have weapon upgrades. That's all I have though. So there's another encounter with some of these guys here, and these guys actually spawn as little babies. You're going to see them spawn right here. For the life of me, I don't know how the spawns work. Like with the pregnants that we saw earlier, they come out of the belly. So I'm not sure. Maybe if you hit the faces off these guys, if it happens. I just haven't experimented with it enough. So this is another long sequence here with the kids. So definitely equip your plasma cutter. And I don't know if you have to fight these guys, but there's got to be like 50 or 75 children over here, and they have so little HP that you can just grab a carcass, throw it at another one of the guys who are rushing you, and then it'll kill the guy who's rushing you. There's a couple of times when I was throwing items at these guys and killing them. Not in this run. When I was playing Dead Space 2 on hardcore, I would throw like a med pack at the kids, and it would kill them a couple times. I don't know if it was a glitch or something, but that just goes to show you how weak these guys are. See, I'm throwing the carcasses at these guys. So ammo conservation is very important on a mode like this. I mean, but it kind of cancels each other out. I mean, and I'm going to speak over this confrontation. There is a high yield resource point over here, but I don't have any bots, so I don't know how to get them. Maybe you have to beat the game, or, beat this first and then get it. But when I said it cancels each other out, it's like, yes, you don't get any healing items, you don't get ammo, but you do get a lot of resources to just make the stuff. So in that respect, you do have to manage your inventory, but it's not. I mean, you're getting the items. You just have to make the items. So it's a weird concept, and I wanted to try this difficulty because I haven't tried it, and I didn't want to do a full-on campaign. Since this is only a 3-chapter DLC package, which is I think it was $9.99, worth every penny. But these guys here, they never seem to stop coming, but they do. There is a point at which they cease to stop coming. But I'm just throwing carcasses at these guys. It's a little risky. Like right there, see how it's a little risky. Just 1 or 2 shots though will kill these guys. These guys might not be the same exact enemies from Dead Space 2, but these are the children. I mean, these guys are pretty similar to the other guys. I mean, I don't believe these are feeder enemies from the main campaign. So, this actually got really good reviews and stuff like that. I think some of the complaints about it, though, is that the environments are recycled, and even the recycled environments that we encounter from the main campaign, we still backtrack quite a bit, even on recycled environments, which is kind of a drag, but it's still an enjoyable campaign. But I couldn't figure out how to do to load the Pure Survivalist, because when you start this, you can only select the main campaigns that you have. It's just that this DLC, it won't let you start a new campaign I mean, it'll only let you start a new campaign on any difficulties that you've played and have a save file for, and it kind of stacks downwards. So I had a save file for impossible, and then it let me select everything below and including impossible difficulty. So I just had to, start a campaign on Pure Survivalist and just do a couple parts in that, and then quit the game and then have that save file so I could start up here. Once again, I don't think there's a trophy for beating this on impossible mode, which is really a shame. I mean, there should be a trophy for beating that difficulty. It's really tough. It's like one guy hit that guy in the shoulder, one hit for that guy, and he's dead. But as you can see, it doesn't appear that these guys have any succession, but they do stop spawning eventually. You just have to give it time. This may have been the last guy right there, in fact. So we're going to be going into the next room where there's a bench and a suit kiosk. So a lot of these levels are just grab bags of a lot of enemies that we've seen before, with little variables thrown in here and there. And here I edit it out. Every time I go in one of these elevators, it takes forever to load, so I just edit the point when I hit the switch and then when it actually opens to save you guys some time. It's no real big deal on my behalf to do that. So here we're going to get some items in here. And then we have a pretty tough fight out here. We have, we're going to have some Twitchers. So get this item right here, and first we're going to spawn these stalks right here, but don't fight the stalks. Trigger the stalks and then run back over here. And the Twitchers, even though that guy spawned right there, we're in a pretty safe location right here. Pretty much when you're playing this game, you just don't want enemies to spawn behind you. Because he does a very slow turn, and it's hard to turn around and stasis enemies when they're right behind you. So those enemies are taken care of, and now we have I think there's 3 stalks over here that we need to take care of as well. See, they went down, but now they're back up. So I'm just going to stasis these things. Take them out with the plasma cutter. I wouldn't say ammo conservation is going to make you fail, because when I started this, it gave me a lot of resources for my campaign, for my other campaign that I just beat the game on, and I used some of the resources, but I mean I didn't take advantage of it. But I mean they were giving me a bunch of stuff. And when you start out here, watch out for these Twitchers, by the way. When you start a new campaign on here, you have absolutely nothing. You have no resources. You only have the plasma cutter and the machine gun. But that doesn't stop you from, doing a microtransaction or something of that nature, or having, picking a file that has a lot of save data on it to give yourself some more resources. So, in the grand scheme of things, this is not very difficult whatsoever. It's just something different to play and fun. So here we're going to go up the lift right here. And as far as the story, I'm not even going to get into it. It's not even written very well, and I'm not even here for the story. I'm just here for the gameplay, like I've said many times before in my guide. It is nice once you get a good story sometimes in a game, but I don't depend on. You can't depend on it. I mean, we're not reading Dickens here. We're playing a video game. Okay, so we're trying to actually acquire means of transportation off this planet. Here I'm just collecting a bunch of resources. And that was the wrong way to go right there. Now into this hut we're going, and see, we've already been into this area, it's not that we've really been into this area per se, but it's just like they cut and pasted this whole area and just, you know, trimmed out the bench and the suit kiosk, and that's really lazy in my opinion. But if memory serves me up here, whoops, I forgot to edit that one out. Sorry about that. This is a tough fight. It's just annoying, and visibility, you can't really see very well, especially when you're trying to draw your gun and fire it. On this difficulty, these elite stalkers go down in one hit. So don't really aim. Don't let go of the aim, and then just kind of survey which box they're behind. Because if you're aiming, then your field of vision goes down drastically. But if you're in this position right here, they're just going to be behind the left crate or the right crate. So I kind of just, you know, stand here, and if I know where they are, I just start aiming and just wait for them to charge me. There's another guy right there. It's just hard to see stuff here, and then the guys are crashing into you from out of nowhere. And there's just not much room to work with here. That's pretty much the bottom line. Okay, so we're going to get these two boxes here, and we're going to have some guys just spawn right up out of the ground. Just, I think, one guy. So just take this guy out real quick, and then if you stay in one spot, you're going to get one of these guys right behind you. So it's really, really jacked up. So see this? Now, I took care of that guy, but what I usually like to do is just stand next to one of the barrels so nothing can get behind me. You're just going to kind of have to, you know, it's whatever happens for me here, it's not going to happen for you, because there's so many variables here. These guys are so unpredictable. It's just that I don't like taking too many hits, and if I'm taking too many hits, I just restart, because I have a lot of vanity, I guess, in respect to playing this game, and to these creatures, who in Dead Space 2, I would have to do a room without getting hit. That would be my goal every time, by these guys here, not getting hit. But here, it's like, watch when I get hit over here. I could not even see the guy. Okay, so there's a guy right there. I saw that guy, and I took care of this guy without getting hit, I believe. And I'm trying to... Another problem about this whole section, too, is that if you go away too far, then the enemies are just going to not even charge you. So you have to get over here and actually be in this environment for them to engage you. But what happened over here was these guys disappeared. Because I know there's more than what I ended up having here. There should have been at least two more guys, but they just disappeared, which is, you know, I'm not going to restart this because the game can't remember that it had some data that it was supposed to load. But anyway, that's it for that section. It's not even that bad, but I always try to aim for perfection on those parts. And, you know, if I take a few hits, because I know it's not designed well. There's just no room over there behind those boxes. It's I realize that it's not Dead Space 2. You know, it's not as good as that. Those setups with the stalkers, those were impeccable, and if you got hit, it was on you. But sometimes in this game, it's just not even. It's on the game, and that's regrettable, actually. So we're going to get an opportunity to use. See how we've already been here before. This is another recycled environment. These guys are all killing themselves. Those guys slit their throats. One guy blew his brains out when we came in here. And even this doesn't really work. It says, you see on the back of me, it says hold, and I was holding. And I said, oh, okay, maybe I wasn't holding for too long. And then I think what you have to do is tap. You have to tap the O button. But look, it says hold. So, you know, just put the word tap on its back then, if you're going to have the player tap the control, you know, the button. It's stuff like that. It's just, it makes this game, you know, not the masterpiece that it could have been. just because of all these little errors that happen in this game that don't happen in the other games. But as you can see here, I'm not getting any health, I'm not getting any ammo drops. That's the way this is working here. And then after this, I'm going to visit the bench and, buy some stuff, see if I can apply some circuits, and then we will be moving on to the next part of this chapter. So the bench is over to the left. There's also a suit kiosk, I believe. So do everything you need to do at the bench. Then we're going to head out here into the snowfield and meet up with Carver and start having some hallucinations. There's a battle on each side of the gas lines right here. So this is the checkpoint area here. When you go up here, you're going to be thrown into this color palette here, and I'm going to head back here. Because these slasher enemies, they can puke at you, which I really don't like whatsoever. So what happens is that you have to either get behind cover or start, doing your dodge roll. Unfortunately, right there, he just puked into the to the side of the building right there. There's only 4 or 5 of these guys though, so this is a fairly easy wave. We are going to face some more slashers and some lurkers on the other side, and you can't rest on a checkpoint either. So you see right here it says Carver was asking him why he didn't hear him, and Isaac said he was attacked, but obviously from Carver's perspective he didn't see anything but Isaac just walking around. So either somebody's hallucinating, whether it's Isaac or Carver. I actually don't know for sure. We're going to get another little hallucination right here. It's just one of those gags the game throws at you. You're in no peril right there, but you are in peril right up here when these guys spawn. So you see how they don't let you go to the other side right there. They have those rocks in the way. So what I have to do is just kind of put some distance in between me and myself, myself and the enemies, and just use the plasma cutter. This plasma cutter is so indispensable. It is the best tool you could possibly have in this game. See how he puked right there? That was a good roll on my part. But why give the enemies the ability to puke? I mean, they're already fast enough, but at least the lurkers can't puke. These guys right here. So just take these guys out with the secret rifle. 1-shot kills for these guys. Then once that battle's won, you've defeated the first chapter on Pure Survivalist or whatever difficulty you selected to play on. I'm gonna just head on up this ladder, and then I'll leave the rest of the video at the normal decibel level so you guys can hear it and enjoy it. But for now, this is Big B. I'm out, and I'll see you in Chapter 2. It's called Infidels. This was called Requiem.
Of course. Here, it's just a little... Oh, no.
Oh, no, what?
The shock drive on this thing is out. It's only got impulse.
So we're stuck.
Just stuck on this star system. We can make it as far as the flotilla. We'll just have to find something up there to play with. We'll make it home. Don't worry.
Worried? I don't know if I'm dead or alive. What's the worry?